This video is brought to you today by Ghostags. This is my own company that I started because I wanted a glow-in-the-dark AirTag case. These things are awesome. You can stick them on your backpack, on your dog's collar, and you will be able to find it at night. We've got two colors, blue and green. They've got great reviews. Go check them out. Links to them down below. Now on to the video. Hey guys, what's up? I'm Slim and you're watching Slimothy TV. It's 2023 and a lot of people are already asking me, how the heck do you keep your battery health percentage at 100%? And I tell them there's just a few steps that I follow. And I have the iPhone 14 Pro, pre-ordered it on launch day. And if we head into settings here and scroll down to battery and then battery health and charging, you will see that my maximum capacity is still at 100%, even 3 months later. And I do not baby this phone. Let me just put it to you that way. I'm on it pretty much all day for business work that I do, as well as at night. I leave this thing on a phone call all night, every night. So this thing goes through the most stress that a battery can possibly go through from a usage standpoint. But there are tips to actually keep that battery in good health that a lot of people don't understand. So a lot of other YouTubers will baby their phones. They'll have 3 different phones. They switch off, every couple weeks they switch to a different phone. Then they hop on their channel and try to pretend like they know how to keep it at 100%. But we all know the truth. They're just switching phones. So I'm going to give you guys the real facts because I use this thing daily. I butcher it with work and it's still at 100%. Here's how I do it. First off, keep optimized battery charging on. That's the first step. Second step is to turn off clean energy charging. It's a gimmick, just turn it off. All right, so that's the biggest first step. The next step is do not put your phone on your dashboard. If you're gonna use it for Waze or Google Maps, keep it out of the direct sunlight. That kills the battery when it gets so hot. Heat is the ultimate enemy of the iPhone's battery, or any lithium-ion battery for that matter. So keep it out of the heat. That's step number 2. Step number 3, keep it out of extreme cold. But honestly, that's not permanent damage in most cases. It's temporary. Once the phone warms back up, the battery itself goes back to normal. But heat is permanent. So if you get it too hot, you're screwed. And if you ever see that heat temperature warning where the phone shuts down and gives you that warning, which in the past, I admit, I used to be laying out, on the beach with my phone next to me and I'd see that, didn't think anything of it. Just so you guys know, that is horrible. That's really bad for the battery. So try not to let that happen. If you're on the beach, put your phone under some blankets, keep it out of the direct sun, and maybe just power it off. All right, the next thing is I don't wirelessly charge with anything except MagSafe. So if you have like an old-timey wireless charger, those things can generate some extra heat. MagSafe seems to be a little bit more efficient, but I try not to wireless charge too much. It's not a big deal if you do, but I just don't do it every night. I know some other YouTubers do, and then their battery health drops and they wonder why. It could be partially due to their wireless charging habits, because wireless charging naturally is not very efficient. That inefficiency comes off as heat, and heat is bad for the battery. That's what we learned as step number 2 in this video, so yeah. The next thing is try not to use your phone intensively while charging. I noticed this myself when I'm on a FaceTime video call with someone and I plug the phone in to charge, the video will actually get choppy. And the reason the video is getting choppy, even on a 14 Pro, brand new phone, is because it's overheating. So the CPU inside of it is actually throttling itself to not overheat. That's very bad for the battery. I've done this multiple times just to see if it was a fluke. It's not a fluke. It happens pretty much every time. Keep that in mind. Try not to charge the phone while doing something intense. When that would happen to me, I'd either turn off my video on FaceTime, let the phone charge up, or I would just unplug it and wait for the call to be over. Keep that in mind. Another pro tip, this is a personal anecdote. Don't put your phone under your pillow at night while it's charging and while you're on a phone call. Unfortunately, I did this the other night for the first time and the results were nearly disastrous. I actually woke up early because I put my hand under my pillow and nearly burned my hand because my phone was so hot. I must have accidentally tossed the phone under my pillow before I went to bed instead of on its typical MagSafe gooseneck mount, which is not a charger, by the way. So yeah, it was plugged in and under my pillow on a call and it just got so hot. So don't do that. That's horrible for the battery. Luckily, nothing bad happened to me, but again, horrible for the battery. Another thing, this is pretty big too. A lot of people think that it's best for the battery if you charge up to 100% and then drop it down to like 5% and then charge it up straight up to 100%. That's probably the worst way to charge a phone actually, because not only does it use a ton of heat in between, 0 to 100, phones don't like being below 20% and above 80% as much as possible. They like the middle. They like between 40 and 60 as much as possible. So if you have the opportunity, top up throughout the day. A lot of people think it hurts the phone if you charge, you're at 65%, you charge up to 80. They think that that's bad and you should just go from 100 to 0. I used to think that too, till I did the research. That's not true at all. In fact, it's better to just do short spurts. So what I personally do, I go from like 50% up to 70, and then I'll drop it down to 40. Just throughout the day, I'll notice it's at 40 and I'll charge it up to 60. Just keep it in between kind of 40 and 80%. That's what I personally do. Seems to work pretty well for me. So yeah, the main things is just charge the phone how you want, but try not to go from 100 to 0. Try not to ever go below 20%, except maybe once a month max. And if you're gonna go up to 100, don't leave it at 100 all the time. Again, if you keep optimized battery charging on and you plug your phone in at night, after a couple weeks to a couple months, it'll learn your habits and it will charge your phone up to 80% at 11 p.m. and it'll hold it at 80% until right before you wake up at 7 a.m. and then it'll charge it up to 100%. So keep optimized battery charging on, keep your phone out of the heat, and definitely keep it out of direct sunlight, and you should have pretty good luck with your battery. Much better than most people. And those are just some quick tips. So if you found this helpful, if your friends and family would find it helpful, share it with them. I know there's so many people that don't understand how these lithium-ion batteries work, and hopefully this can help save them $80, a trip to the Apple store to get a new battery. But at the end of the day, it's just a battery. You can always replace it. It's not a big deal. Don't let the phone run you, you run the phone. That's all I got for this video, guys. If you liked it, hit it with a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.